ATP, what it do with your boy Clayton Moore Rain? It's that ATP Combat Media Show. Shout out to all my subscribers. If this is your first time tapping into content, look, I'm going to invite you to go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, hit your bell icon so you get an alert when all this content is dropping. So Edgar Berlanga, it is Mexican Independence Day, and it's the weekend of, and you know, when it's Mexican Independence Day in the boxing game, we all know what time it is. Canelo Alvarez is going to be defending his belts, and somebody has hit the Canelo Alvarez sweepstakes. And who's that somebody? Edgar Berlanga. Clap it up for Edgar Berlanga, putting himself in position with Eddie Hearn, putting in the work, the groundwork to go ahead and get him involved in the Canelo Alvarez sweepstakes. And the question has to be, can Edgar Berlanga do what a lot of people think is pretty much impossible for him to do at this point, right? We all know that Canelo Alvarez is not the type of champion that we've seen, that we're used to over the many years, as he's not necessarily too interested in defending against his mandatories. He's in the latter half of his career where he's picking the fights he wants to fight. He's going to fight who he wants to fight, and he has a fan base that puts him there in that position as a face of boxing to be able to do that, being that he sells, makes a lot of money. Therefore, looking at who we want to see him fight might not necessarily match up with who he's going to fight. In this case scenario, everybody was expecting and wanting him to fight against David Benavidez, the Mexican monster. It's not. It'll be Puerto Rico's own, Brooklyn-grown Edgar Berlanga, who's given the assignment of dethroning Canelo Alvarez. Now, Canelo Alvarez going into this fight, a unified champion, not an undisputed champion, as the IBF did go ahead and strip his title, as he did not execute and honor his mandatory that he had to fight. So the IBF took away the belt. He's only coming into this fight with 3 belts, and Edgar Berlanga has an opportunity now to become a unified champion, not so much an undisputed champion. Now, the cherry pick, the David Benavidez issues, the Caleb Plant issues that he has, the problems he has with Jose Benavidez, all these social media platforms, all these sports platforms that are all saying the same thing. How can Edgar Berlanga win this fight? This is a cherry pick. This is a cherry pick by the unified 168-pound champion Canelo Alvarez. How does Edgar Berlanga do it? Well, one way he has to do it is he's going to have to tune out the noise. He's got to tune out the noise. Edgar Berlanga has to tune out the noise and focus on the assignment that's in front of him. On top of that, on top of tuning out the noise, the best version of Edgar Berlanga has to come into the ring that night. Edgar Berlanga, who's going to have to show us things he's never shown us in his professional career yet. Let's be truthful about this. Full support and respectful to Edgar Berlanga. His first 16 fights, the matchmaking was wonderful. He was able to stop all those opponents in the first round. Following 5 to 6 fights, he had some unanimous decisions and even got sat on his pockets a few times. Ultimately, building up to his last fight he had against Parag McCrory, don't quote me, last name McCrory, an Irishman who came up, and he was able to execute. A little bit of matchmaking there as well, but was able to execute and stop him. Stop McCrory, and this probably being the jumping catalyst that pushed him into this opportunity. Something that Eddie Hearn was able to build off of to make him a valuable, attractive fight for Canelo Alvarez. I mean, he brings the pretty boy status. He brings the thug status from Brooklyn. He brings the Puerto Rican flag with him. He brings these things, but was he going to bring that dancing that dancing partner quality that he was going to have in order to make this an attractive fight? Well, some would say, arguably, maybe he did. Not to mention him being a WBA mandatory as well helps the situation a little bit as well, right? Either way, what is Edgar Berlanga going to have to do to get a win in this fight? Some people are saying stay behind his jab. Some people are saying don't forget to be aggressive. Some people say it's going to be the IQ. Some people say whatever got you to the dance, make sure that you leave the dance with that person. And that was knockout power, punching power. It's arguable to say that Edgar Berlanga will be the puncher in the ring that night. definitely be the bigger fighter, longer arms, longer legs, maybe even a stronger fighter, possibly. Is any of those factors going to be able to be enough to put a stain on another stain on Canelo Alvarez's record as a defeat? Well, we'll find out in the coming weekend, as Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga will meet up, and we will get those boxes checked. Hopefully he's able to tune out all that noise, and whatever noise he is hearing, maybe he can use it as some sort of motivation. Maybe that motivation will give him what he needs to take this fight as serious as he needs to be able to walk away with a victory. He made all the right decisions as far as where he's training at. He took himself out of South Florida, which is where he lives. He put himself in Boulder, Colorado, in that high altitude training, working on his conditioning, tuning out all of the noise. Forget about the haircut. Forget about all that. Focus on Canelo Alvarez for 6 to 8 weeks. Then think about anything else. And here we are today. Let's see what that work does. You guys let me know in the comments, is there any way that we can see Edgar Berlanga walking away with the win in this fight? And if he does walk away with the win, what are we looking at? Edgar Berlanga has promised or suggested that he's looking for a 6-round knockout in this fight. So he's not looking to play with Canelo Alvarez. It's arguable to say that he's looking to get on Canelo Alvarez as soon as he can. Maybe not at the ring of the first bell, but I'll say after the second, third round max, we should see Edgar Berlanga turn it up a lot and see how Canelo Alvarez deals with that. Canelo, we know what to expect from Canelo and what we're expecting to see from Canelo. Let's see if Canelo can still do what he's been doing, right? But either way, Edgar Berlanga's attitude and focus on this fight has brought some interest and some intrigue to this fight. Some people may not care to see it because a lot of people are just going to be boycotting off the strength of not seeing David Benavidez in the ring with Canelo Alvarez. But there's a lot more people, I can promise you, that are going to watch this fight. And if you're thinking that this is going to be a one-sided affair, maybe this video might put some perspective on what Edgar Berlanga could do, right? Let me know in the comments who you got. How does Berlanga do it if he does do it? It's your boy Claymore Rain. This is that ATP Combat Media Show. Shout out to all my subscribers again. Please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and take advantage of that subscribe button. Hit your bell icon so you are getting alerts when all this content is dropping. And at this point, y'all.